Welcome back to the channel, it's 9, and today we're going to be talking more about Guerrilla Games, and we're going to be talking about another NVIDIA leak coming true, and lastly we'll be talking about Stray possibly getting a release date sooner than we think. Now before we get into that, if you have not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button, it helps the channel a ton. Now let's kick it off with Guerrilla Games. Now, fair warning, this is coming from a source that still remains unproven, but I do want to put that information out there for you guys, let you make your own decision on whether you believe it or not, but I'm going to give you my thoughts on it as well. Now, this comes from Oops Leaks on Twitter, still unproven, as I said, and this is a source that we've discussed in the past, literally only the Bioshock thing that could be true, and that's because it lined up with Colin Moriarty, also on the NVIDIA leak that came out, so another thing to think about there. And they say, quote, multiplayer shooter competitive, could be a hero shooter with esports focus, 3 years in development, Rainbow Six Siege leads involved. They say here my sources differ. One claims that it's a new Socom game. The other says that it's set in the Horizon universe. Soon we'll find out what's true. So obviously here they're saying multiplayer shooter, kind of an expectation. I think we're all under the impression that Guerrilla Games is going to make a multiplayer shooter soon. It's going to have an esports focus, which I think that is kind of what Sony's trying to do here, is create more esports games, more live service games. They've really put their foot in the esports realm, especially with Evo, so I can definitely see that happening. It's been in development for 3 years, which, I mean, we've heard of a Guerrilla game being in development for that time frame. We just don't know what it is yet. Rainbow Six Siege leads involved, which would definitely imply that it's going to be a competitive shooter, is what I believe. And they say it could be a new Socom game or Horizon game, unsure as sources conflict. And I feel like that's a little odd to say that because it kind of is like almost like a safety precaution, right? Like, so if I'm wrong about Horizon, well, guess what? I'm right about Socom. If I'm wrong about Socom, guess what? I was right about Horizon, which is like the safest thing to say. So this is where I lead into talking about why I'm skeptical, because I am highly, highly skeptical of Oops Leaks, and it's because we talked about previously in his Naughty Dog update, or his or her Naughty Dog update, or the rumor leak, whatever it was. I felt that it was kind of odd that The Last of Us remake was completely absent from that, and why the thoughts that were kind of reflected there happened to line up perfectly with the concept art that came out that made people believe that it could be a fantasy themed game that they are working on as a new IP. Now, when it comes to this, I think it's the general opinion when it comes to the community that Socom could be in production at Guerrilla Games, and that's only because Guerrilla Games is known for creating Killzone, a first-person shooter that was pretty well refined. So people think, oh, well, naturally, Socom being a big IP, that's the one that they're going to create, and they'll be the ones to create that game. Possible, completely possible. But I think they're also likely going to stick with the Horizon universe. I feel like that's kind of where they're going, and that's a universe that's worked really, really well for them, so I don't see that changing anytime soon. Not to say that they can't create another IP or work on any other games, but I kind of feel like if they're going to make a first-person shooter, are they going to be the ones to do Socom? Is Socom even an IP that we see come back, or does it just have that nostalgia factor? Does it really have any depth to it that's going to get people to go crazy in 2022, 2023, 2024? Or could a Horizon FPS be more beneficial? Or could a whole new IP for a first-person shooter be more beneficial? Or even better yet, aren't we having Deviation Games create a first-person shooter, and this is the COD veterans that are making it? I mean, they could always have two, but it does leave a question to be answered, of course, right? And this is just me throwing out thoughts there. I'm not saying that Socom will absolutely never be a thing, or that Horizon devs will never work on Socom. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just brainstorming here, kind of like asking questions. What do we think is the situation here? But that's pretty much what Oops Leaks says over there. Again, highly skeptical of what's being said there because, again, unproven territory there. And of course, these things are kind of just lining up with general opinions in the community with zero confirmations about anybody working on Socom as far as I know. Now, next up, I want to talk about this NVIDIA leak that has come true. Another one, that is. Tactics Ogre Reborn has been trademarked in Japan. This gives light to the possibility of more games on the list coming true. Hoping to see Kingdom Hearts 4 and Final Fantasy IX Remake, or what I believe to be a remaster, happening soon. Good to keep in mind that if it is Kingdom Hearts 4, this could even be a PlayStation exclusive given Square Enix's closer ties with Sony, especially this generation, where I feel like they're much tighter than they were last gen. Even though they were still close, this gen shows that they are even closer than they were last gen. So Kingdom Hearts 4 could be that timed exclusive. We don't know. Could be a definitely non-exclusive multi-platform game, but I feel like I could see that happening, especially Kingdom Hearts 2, original Kingdom Hearts. They were PlayStation exclusives, if you remember. Not anymore because they're on everything, basically. But yeah, this is definitely a possibility here. Not much else to say about that, but just an interesting thought to keep in mind. Lastly, I want to talk to you about Stray and it possibly getting a release date soon. So Stray has been rated in South Korea. This could mean we will get a release date soon. Obviously, it could also mean that it's simply just been rated. And at that case, I mean, that may not mean we're going to get a release date soon, but I do feel like this game is due. We do need to see more of it, and a release date is imminent. I think we're definitely looking at that territory where we're going to see that come to light soon. And hey, who knows? Maybe a state of play coming up, maybe a showcase. I don't know. We need something from Sony. We're starving here. We want some more information about the games to come in the future, especially 2023, as obviously there's a lot of titles in that year that we want to know about. I mean, we want to know about God of War Ragnarok and when that's dropping, and I feel like we're going to be getting that sooner rather than later. I have a good feeling about that. And that's not saying I know anything. I'm just speculating that I feel like we're going to know about God of War in the very, very near future. I think it's going to be a summer release. But that's all I have for you guys in today's video. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of this Oops leak over on Twitter with them saying that, they're working on Socom, possibly could be working on FPS in the Horizon universe. It's going to be competitive, esports, all that. Let me know. How do you feel about this Tactics Ogre Reborn game getting a trademark? I know a lot of people are excited for that. What do you think this means for other games on the NVIDIA leak? And lastly, are you going to be buying Stray when it drops? Let me know in the comments, and as always, if you have not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Links will be in the description, and share this video with a friend. I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care.